What about me?
Yeah.
Okay, 7 years is
Nope, not anymore.
something. Go ahead. If you talk, you can hear it from my.
Oh, true. Can you guys all hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's start.
Hello? I can hear you. You guys can hear me?
Okay. Let's start. Hi everyone. I'm Seven. And this is my first webinar. Okay, so I'll probably just go over some basic logistics today, and then Hannah will give a short lesson, and then Jackson will go over practice questions. So we'll start with the AP exam. The AP exam has 40 multiple choices and 4 free responses, and they're both an hour and 30 minutes each. So 3 hours. Yeah. And then also for the in-person meetings at UMD, we'll have practice problems. So if you guys come to our in-person meetings, we'll do section by section. We'll have mock exam, and then we'll go over the answers that you have. Also, for our one-on-one tutoring sessions, I have a link. I can send it to you guys through the chat, and I can also send it on the GroupMe and email. And I just sent the link to the chat if you guys want to check that out. And I'll just go over quickly how you can sign up for the one-on-one tutoring session. So we would like you guys to make reservations or sign up for the one-on-one tutoring session 48 hours in advance, and then cancel in 24 hours in advance. So let me just share my screen. Can you see this? Okay. So if you click on the link that I sent you through chat, you'll see these blocks for different dates and times where you can sign up for one-on-one tutoring, and you can sign up for the tutoring for any kind of reason, if you need help with a project, or have problems with any concepts, or test taking skills, just anything from the test. And basically what you do is you click on one of these blocks, and then you have to be logged into your Gmail account, and then you just you don't really have to write any of these, but just test and then save. Then you book an appointment, and then you'll probably get an email. I got an email for this, and I can either yes or no. And then if you guys want to cancel, I think you can just say no on your event and change the details. But it'll be best if you guys just email us personally also, so that we all and also if someone cancels an appointment, I can check no, and then this will be back. It'll be open for other people to sign up. Oh, also for the one-on-one tutoring session, you can sign up to 2 30-minute blocks each day, so that'll be an hour of one-on-one session. And if you could leave the other ones open for other people, so we don't have to see one person for 3 hours at the same time. And okay, so this is our first webinar, and our next webinar will be this Wednesday at 8 p.m. So we'll usually have our webinars on Wednesdays and Sundays at 8 p.m. And Wednesday and Sunday will be the same material. So it'll be 2 different sessions. So people who can't go to the Wednesday one can come to the Sunday one. They'll be the same thing. And then every week we'll have like new lessons. But I think because we have more time, I think 1 week we'll do like new lessons on Wednesday and Sunday, and then the next week might be just like practice problems or like application. So we'll let you know more about that. Yeah. Also, can you guys like let us know what kind of platform you're using to run Java, like Eclipse, BlueJ, and like you guys can message that through chat. And we'll probably look at those this week. And if you have any questions about like those platforms, you can ask us questions. Yeah, because like me, Hannah, and Jack, we all use Eclipse. The Eclipse would. Okay, perfect. Does anyone have like any questions about using Eclipse? Also, if you guys like want to talk, you can like unmute yourself and talk, or just like chat. And assume that you guys don't have questions. If you guys have questions, you can like email us later or through chat or me. And okay, so that's it for me. And I'll pass it over to Hannah. Or you should try yours. I think it's just like mine.
I don't know why. I'll probably test it out later.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so now I'm going to go into our first webinar topic. So we're just going to start today by talking about variables, but we kind of figured that most of you guys already are pretty good at using variables by now. So we're going to start with a new topic again on Wednesday, but we just thought for today, since it was our first webinar, it would be a good thing to go over.
Oh, also, I forgot to ask them what they have learned so far.
Okay, so before we start that though, something that we just wanted to know first was what you guys have already learned in class so far, and also if you guys know kind of what you're going to be learning next. It's okay if you don't know that, but you guys can just say in your mic, or also you can chat what you've already learned in class. Okay. If statements, objects and method overloading. Oh, so that's interesting. So it seems like your guys's teachers are all having you go over different things first, which is interesting. But okay, that's good to know. But so today we're just going to start with variables. So I just have a little PowerPoint for you guys on variables. So I'll share my screen. Oh, also just to go over how to use Google Hangouts in case you guys have never used it before. So if you want to view the chat, there's this little button over here. You just click on that and the chat will come up on the side. You can just type anything. Also, if you want to share your screen, that button is over here. And then if you want to mute your mic or turn your camera on and off, these are the buttons to toggle that. And I think that's pretty much all you guys need. Also, if you want to look at someone else's screen, you can just go down here and click on someone else's screen to view that. Oh. Okay. So today we are just going to go over variables. All right. So what is a variable? So a variable is just a name associated with a memory location in the computer. And so in Java, we have two different types of variables. The first type of variables are primitive, and these are data types that are already built into Java. So for example, an integer, double, character, or a Boolean. But then in Java, there are also variables called object references, and these just keep track of objects you make in Java. And so we are going to have another webinar later on talking all about objects. But yes, so these are just the two different types of variables you are going to see. And so specifically for the AP exam, the types of variables that you are going to need to know how to use are integers, doubles, booleans, and strings. So all of these are primitive types except for a string. A string is technically an object because it originates from the string class in Java. So to declare a variable in Java, you have to say what type of variable it is and then also its name. So for example, here at the bottom, we're declaring an integer variable called age, a double variable called weight, and a string called name. And so whenever you declare a variable, Java allocates memory in your computer to store that variable's information, and different types of variables use a different amount of space. So for example, a double uses more space than an integer, but for the AP exam, you don't need to know exactly how much memory they are storing. So after you declare a variable, you have to initialize it with its value. So this can be done in the same line when you declare the variable, such as in this bottom example where I say string name equals Bob, or it can be done after you declare the variable, such as in the first example where first I declare it and then I initialize it to 1. So that is it for our information about variables. We figured you guys probably already had a good idea of how to use them, but does anybody have questions about that before we do some practice problems? Once again, you can type in the chat or just shout something out. No questions? Okay, so now Jack's going to take us through some practice problems.
Hey everyone, again, I'm Jack. Nice to meet you all. I'm another one of the tutors for the Rise Up program. In the chat here, I just sent out a link to today's practice problems. It's a Google forum, and you'll notice that the first question will be asking you your name. This is how we're going to be taking attendance each webinar. Like, we understand you guys are busy people, so attendance isn't mandatory, but we're just trying to gauge who's showing up to see which topics like you guys are best understanding and which ones you'll need more help on, and that will allow us to give you more individual attention when it comes to the one-on-one tutoring sessions. So I'll give you guys a little bit to fill it out. I believe there are 5 questions for today, and then we can go over them one-on-one and to see how you guys do. Once everyone responds, we'll go over the questions. Thanks for all of you all who have already finished and submitted. If you don't know any of the answers, I know all the questions are mandatory, but feel free to just take a guess. We'll go over all the answers anyway, so even if you did guess correctly, we'll go over why the correct answers are right and why the incorrect ones are wrong. Okay, so it looks like everyone for the most part submitted their responses, so now we're going to go over the answers. So you guys actually did a really nice job on this. So the first question asked you, what type should you use to represent the average grade on the course? And for all the responses we got in, it seemed that everyone responded double, which is in fact correct. Because your grade could be anything from have a decimal in it or just be a whole number. Whether you have an 84, for example, or like a 79.8. Like those are all acceptable responses for grade. So double was correct for that answer. For the next question, it asked what type should you use to represent the number of people in a household? And again, it seemed like everyone, for the most part, did a really nice job on this question. Because people can't be a decimal, you can't have like 2/3 of a person, for example. We were looking for int for this answer. Feel free to message in the side if you would like me to go into more depth about any of these answers or have any other questions. The third question asked, what type should you use to hold the first name of a person? And again, you guys seem to do really well on this. String was what we were looking for because, like, if your name is Jack or Hannah, those do use a combination of letters for the answer. And then the final question for this one, the second to last one was, what type should you use to record if it's raining or not? And Boolean was the correct answer here, or it is either raining yes, or it is not raining, true or false. And Boolean is what we'll use. And then the final question just asked, what type should you use to represent the amount of money you have? And just like our first question with grades, money is a decimal value because you have not only dollars, but cents with every answer. So double, again, was here the answer we were looking for. So nice job. It seemed like you all really know your variables. Are there any other questions about variables or how to set up clips or any of the material regarding logistics, variables, or anything else we've covered so far? If you're good, just so we know who's good and we don't want to cut off someone if they have a question, if everyone could do like send like their favorite emoji in the group chat or a question if you have one. Thanks, Amanda. Anyone else? Okay, awesome. So it seems like you all really know your variables. Again, we're always here. If you do have any questions later on, feel free to book a one-on-one tutoring session, and we can get those all answered for you. It sounds like you're all using Eclipse, so if you ever need help setting up your Eclipse environments or any other help like that, again, we can answer all your questions in one-on-one tutoring sessions. But I guess since none of you have questions, that's all we have for tonight. We look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday at 8 p.m. for our next topics. Oh, and if you aren't already, we encourage you to join the GroupMe. Hannah can post the link for that in the chat in a moment if you're not already in it. But if you are already in the GroupMe, great. If you do prefer to use email, we'll still send out the links there too. But eventually, we would try to get everyone on the GroupMe if that's possible. If not, that's okay. But yeah, and we look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday. Thanks for coming tonight, guys.
Bye, everyone.